Alright, I am very excited to talk about these punchlines personally. Okay, so this is the end-all be-all. It goes, do you wish to know why they call me Dr. Stark? Which is, of course, one of my aliases in the rap game. I go by Dr. Stark. And I mention my brain chemistry wields, the greatest punchlines related to the medical field. So basically, I'm giving you a compilation of specific punchlines that have to do with the medical field, that are medically inclined and medically related. But I did them in a very talented way, in a very skilled way of using multiple meanings, so that these punchlines work and they could be used to show, okay, if you're going to give me the name Dr. Stark and I don't have any real medical credentials, well, this would be a nice, excuse to go by, is that, well, I have created some amazing punchlines for the, sake of saying you can call me Dr. Stark because I have the greatest punchlines ever made that involve the medical field and medical science. Okay, albeit that they are funny, but they are very skillfully created. So anyways, the next one that comes on here has to do with that is, quote, okay, I'm very scientific with my internal teachings. I'm not a priest, but at the last moment of recognition, there's funeral readings. So the double meaning here is at the very last part of the rhyme, funeral readings and funeral readings. Okay, because what does a priest do at a funeral? It's their last moment of recognition of their life. That's what happens at the funeral. That is the last moment of any individual's recognition of their life. Is the priest will give them their final words, their final goodbye. They will move them on, to the afterlife and everything. And that's the last time you take note of that person's life in the physical form, is during the funeral. So there's funeral readings, of course. And also I'm saying at the last moment of recognition physically of life, medically speaking, there is funeral readings. Why is that? Because the neural readings are, of course, your life readings. Your heart beating, your pulse, the last few minutes of you being alive on this world would be your neural readings. And if you are almost dead, if you are almost out of this world, physically speaking, in life and everything, that would be your neural readings. And there would only be a few of them, of course, because you're not going to have a lot of neural readings if you're still alive and well. But as you are taking that last, depth into, the afterlife, that's what you're going to find, just a few neural readings. Now, continuing here, the next, a very amazingly written punchline that I've created and for the medical field is me basically going on about two amazing doctors that invented a tool that we see all the time in doctors' offices. I am, of course, referring to the Otoscope. So the line goes like this. Look up to the inventors before us, the greatest minds revered. Ignaz Gruber and E. Seigle were doctors, and they invented the Otoscope to keep eye on ears. So this is a double meaning, and it can be interpreted two different ways. But it is not a triple meaning. It is a double meaning, but it can be interpreted in two different possible ways. The only reason you would see on the screen that there's two slash marks next to it is because it's an interpretation. So in other words, you can look at it three ways, but it is only implied in two meanings. Okay, it is not a triple implied meaning. Okay, anyways, so these two doctors in the early 20th century, Ignaz Gruber and E. Seigle, they invented the otoscope. They did different things, but they both take major credit for inventing this very useful tool that we have seen and that we've all, been used on, and it's a very common tool. And what this tool does is it allows the doctors to look inside of your ears, and they put their eye up to it, and they look inside of your ears. So I said these guys invented the otoscope to keep eye on ears, because that is literally what they do with it. They keep an eye on your ears, physically, literally, every way you can think of, because that's what the tool is for. But I also mentioned both of their names, and I said that they are two key pioneers, because they are pioneers since they invented a useful tool that has been used for, decades later and will be used now for a very long time and forever, because that's what pioneers do. They invent something that is a useful tool or item or strategy or culture or lifestyle or of sorts that is, forever, we are forever thankful for the things that have been created from people like these. And I'm also saying they invented the otoscope too, as in TOO, as in not only were they just revered doctors, which is already amazing. Anybody that's a doctor, that's awesome. But I'm saying, but as well, or to TOO, which also means as well, they are key pioneers, for inventing the otoscope. So it's just a very dope double meaning, because I'm saying they invented the otoscope for the ability to keep an eye on ears of their patients, but I'm also saying they invented the otoscope. Two key pioneers. That's what they are. They're two key pioneers in the medical field. So just a very dope double meaning here in relation to, medical history and stuff, and keeping in mind that this is a reason that I say that you can call me Dr. Stark. The next line in the compilation of lines for which I can give reasons to call me Dr. Stark is a very funny, very humorous punchline. It is a double implied meaning punchline. It is a very long-winded one, but for good reason. Once you see the timeline of events, it is just hilarious, and it's very skillfully written. It goes, I've conducted an experiment for my medical exam during which I will watch a team of two people working, an idiot and a genius together. I'm mostly concerned with how each other comes to terms with their individual studying methods for learning. The smarter group member creates a song from the material and recites it, while the other is absurdly highlighting, scribbling, angrily, and cursing. The exam has multiple portions with different topics for ensuring their grade earnings determined. Basically, you would see one partner illogical and one partner sing. Okay, so I know that was a lot, but here is why this is very talented. It all comes down with the very last couple of lines in this rhyme. It's saying this, okay? You have an idiot and a genius working together. And the other more important thing to understand is this is a multiple portioned exam, as in there is multiple topics on this exam. And I mentioned specifically all those things I just said. So what I'm saying is I am concerned with how each other comes to terms with each of their studying methods, being that they're different, and to see how they do on this exam, which is multiple portions. So basically it comes down to, I mention what those portions of this exam are, and also by doing that, since I make this a double implied meaning, is I mention the differences between the partners. Okay, so I got what I wanted out of it, to see the differences with the partners, and I got to explain what the different portions of the exam are, skillfully done, because I was able to put this together with a long setup, but with words and conjunctions of words and sounds to make it a double implied meaning. So it comes down to the ending. I'm saying, as far as the two group members, there's one partner illogical, as in not smart, as in he's an idiot, he's very stupid, he can't use logic or critical thought, and one partner sing. You see one partner sing. Why? Because I mentioned in my setup that the smarter partner, what he did was make a song out of the material, and he would recite it. That was his studying method, a very smart one. And the other one, as I mentioned, was just absurdly highlighting and angrily scribbling and stuff and cursing. Like he just was an angry guy, and he was just highlighting and scribbling stuff, and it wasn't going to get him anywhere. And I said the word absurdly, of course, on purpose. Anyways, so I said one partner is illogical and one partner sing. That's what you would see, because the one partner was going to sing to recite his material and remember it in a song. And the other part that makes this a double implied meaning is the two different portions of this exam. I said one part neurological and one part nursing. Okay, neurological, that is a type of medical exam you would have to take. A neurological exam, that is a term used to, describe exactly what you'd be studying in the medical field and a test you would have to take eventually. So I'm saying one part of this exam I've been mentioning in my setup is a neurological exam, and the other part of this test is a nursing exam. And this works as a very funny double meaning because the point is nursing, one part nursing sounds exactly the same as one partner sing, and one part neurological sounds exactly the same as one part neurological. One partner illogical, one part neurological. Very dope, very crazy double meaning here. Just a funny one, and again, it all has to deal with medical field related punchlines because I always want to prove myself, whatever it is. There's nothing I like better doing than pushing the boundaries of the English language, to proving that I am talented, to prove that I am someone worth listening to prove that I am someone original. And so I say, well, how many people, by the way, are named Doctor? Have Doctor in their alias. I'm not talking about real people. I'm talking about in the music industry, in whatever, just for fun they use it. Well, I'm saying, okay, I am clearly not a real doctor, but I'm giving people reasons to call me Dr. Stark, because find me any better punchlines that are in the medical field that you can relate to than the ones that I have given today. See, these are very talented, skillfully done, multiple meanings, implied meanings. Anybody can make a punchline about the medical field. It's not hard to do that, but to do it as talented as I have done, you will not find someone else doing that. And I don't care what anyone says. I'm not going to see it happen. It just won't happen, and I've proved it here today. So that is why they call me Dr. Stark, and I'm proud to say that.